Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. And the Sharks, well, it didn't go very well for them, did it? In their second match against the British and Irish Lions, after a really good first time half, a really top performance, and a match where it looks like they were finally going to give the British and Irish Lions something to contend with, something to try and really grind over, and Warren Gatland was talking about the fact that they wanted a stiffer challenge, and it looked like the Sharks were ready to give it to the Lions, who've had it really easy up until now. It really has been pretty smooth sailing for the tourists, and for the first sort of 45 minutes, the Sharks were in it. I mean, in fact, they led for a stage. It was even at 26-26, and it was all going really well until Jaden Henderson, the young 21-year-old, decided to elbow Liam Williams to the back of the head and get the red card. After that, whilst the Lions just absolutely poured on the pressure, running in what I think it was 45 points after that red card to win the game 71-31. Welcome to the Player Ratings Show. Basically, what we do now for sort of the next half an hour is we go through the match and we talk about players that impressed, that some players that maybe struggled, and we basically give every player a rating between 1 and 10, just sort of discussing, how each player fared, what we thought and stuff like that. And we can start sort of getting an idea who some of the top performers are, who some of the players who maybe struggled a little bit, some of the players who impressed. I mean, quite a few changes for both sides. There were 11 changes to the Sharks side. A couple of players making their return to the Sharks, a couple of very interesting contributions. A player scored 2 tries. For the British and Irish Lions, I think the back three, once again, probably the most impressive performers, as they kind of have been for every single match. I think that's quite interesting, the fact that the British and Irish, back three, your 2 wings and your full back seem to be the best performers. I think maybe sort of the centres, we haven't quite seen a sort of standout centre performance yet from the likes of an Owen Farrell or Chris Harris or even a Bundy Aki or even an Elliot Daly. But it's becoming very difficult to pick that back three. At fly half, Dan Bigger, I thought struggled today as well. So be interested to see how it goes. And we've had quite a few people voting. We've got the link in the description there. So go and vote right now because, basically how this works is I will then go through this now and give my vote and sort of just say what I think and stuff like that, and we can talk about it in the chat and stuff like that. So if you're in the chat, let me know what you thought of the game. Let me know what you thought of the second half of the red card. Did you agree with the red card? What did you think? Let me know what you thought of the performance today from the Sharks. I thought it was much better for a lot of things. I thought that ironically, for a side which probably on paper wasn't as strong on Wednesday, they just seemed to have something that was running them on. They seemed to be up for it. They seemed to be ready to sort of go the distance and try and actually do something quite special. And it looked at one stage like they could do something special. But very frustrating that a youngster who's got so much talent, such a high threshold in terms of how far he could go, would undo everything that he did with that. So it's very frustrating that Jaden Henderson kind of sort of stepped up the Sharks. But I also think for the British and Irish Lions, they'll be a little bit scared after that game. I'm not scared, but maybe a bit worried. I think Warren Gatland would have seen a lot of mistakes. I mean, 4 out of 5 of the Sharks' tries came off mistakes from the Lions. A charge down kick, a knock on, a poor pass. So it was definitely a lot of errors from the British and Irish Lions there. I mean, that any game where you're scoring over 100 points is a game which is messy, which has got some bad moments, which has got some leaky defense, and 75 and 80% tackle success rates for either team respectively kind of sort of shows that. So I definitely think that the British and Irish Lions, for as much as they scored a lot of tries, and just by the way, this is what the voting looks like. So you see 1 to 10 for a side that scored a lot of tries. I think that the Springboks management would have watched that and thought, you know what, we actually see quite a few chinks in the armor there, and I think that the pack maybe for the Lions, is probably kind of under quite a lot of pressure. I think we'll start seeing more continuity. We kind of have to start seeing more continuity. Warren Gatland can't just change his starting 15 week for every single match in the preparation now. Next week Wednesday, next week Saturday, we'll probably start seeing sides which will resemble, that final test side. We'll start seeing maybe combinations, a 9-10 combination, a lock pairing, maybe a back three combination, maybe a front row. We'll start sort of seeing a couple of signs of exactly what we might see in that first test against the Springboks. So, I think we've now had the first 3 games. It's now time to start working towards a sort of final product for Warren Gatland, a final sort of 15 and stuff like that. But in terms of the ratings, we will be going through the Sharks first. And we'll start at 1 through to 23. And after that, we'll then move on to the British and Irish Lions. I also want to try and sort of bring in a bit of an addition to the plugin where we can try and vote for a man of the match and stuff like that. But unfortunately, we don't have that quite yet. So at the moment, we can only rate the players 1 to 10. Smash like on the video, by the way. Let me know where you're watching and stuff like that. We're going to start with Ntutuko Mkunu, who I actually thought had quite a solid game. A very young player, 22 years old. He scrummed reasonably well. I think is probably what I said. He only made 2 tackles, but they're pretty decent tackles. But didn't carry the ball at all, which I think for a former 8th man is quite frustrating. So he didn't really get onto the ball. But I thought he was much better scrum time than Vian Herbst, so I thought really struggled. So I'm kind of leaning towards a sort of a solid, a bit of a nothing 5 out of 10, I suppose, not really a solid, a bit of nothing out of 10, 5 for Ntutuko Mkunu, because I thought that he wasn't bad. People are going with a 6. They're going a little bit higher. I just didn't think he did much. I would like to see him carry the ball. I'd like to see him try and get over the gain line. He's such a big carry. He's such a big unit. He's 114 kgs. He's 6'2". He's a big guy. So I think that they should have used him more. Somebody I was very impressed with today was Kieran van Vuuren. I mean, he was monstrous on the defense. Really was very good. They won every single round at the Sharks, so he did his job down to the T. I thought he was very good. I mean, he made 3 carries, but 15 tackles and not a single tackle missed. Some big tackles as well. If you find stats like dominant tackles, I reckon quite a few of them were quite dominant. He was very impressive today. I was sort of going towards almost a 7 for Kieran van Vuuren. I thought he was probably one of the best performers for the Sharks. As I said, 15 tackles, none missed, 100% line-out victory. You kind of sort of stand back and think, well, I did my job. So I'll go with a 7 for Kieran van Vuuren. I thought he was pretty impressive. Doesn't get a lot of game time with Fez Mbate ahead of him. You guys are agreeing on the 7, so glad we're seeing there. Yeah, struggles a little bit with game time in terms of having Fez Mbate ahead of him, but he's a very good player, Kieran van Vuuren. And I think we'll probably almost be on the lookout for potential new union with Bongi Manambi leaving. I think the side like a Sigma Lions must be looking at Kieran van Vuuren and thinking, we can get a good player there, because he's going to be 3rd in line come sort of November. So unless Fez Mbate is being linked with a move away to try and get more sort of play minutes, I mean, obviously Bongi Manambi, won't be available when the Springboks play, but the whole point of the United Rugby Championship is that it won't really sort of affect international season. So they shouldn't be losing a lot of their Springboks for it. The next, somebody I thought was pretty poor. I thought Vian Herbst had a tough night tonight. He conceded a really silly penalty, which they eventually scored from. He made 10 tackles. He missed 1 tackle. Scrums, he wasn't great. I thought he struggled quite a bit with the scrums. I thought he could have done a lot better. So I'm kind of sitting in around a 4 for him, especially that penalty just sort of springs to mind, which they did go and score a try against. So I think that was frustrating. 3.5. So we're going quite low with Vian Herbst. I mean, he's not a youngster. That's the thing. He's not a youngster. So, he's supposed to be quite well revered. He's 33 years old. Just turned 33. He played for Ulster for 5 years and was supposed to be a very good scrummager, but we just didn't see that today at all. So I think that I was a little bit disappointed. I think from Herbst, and I think hopefully we'll see a better performance from him. Leroux Roots. I was quite interested to see Leroux Roots coming in actually. Somebody was asking on the stream on Wednesday where he is, yeah, he came in, but just so we got Vic here in the comments after that game. The Lions should be worried. I think that I don't think they'll be particularly happy. TRS Gaming says Hope sucks at scrums even with all his experience. So I think that's the frustrating thing. Louis is 26 years old. He's 103 kg. I think he's actually he's much more heavier than that. But he's 6'6". He's a giant of a player. He looks a little bit like a prop. He made 6 carries, 11 tackles, missed 3 tackles. They used him as a ball carrier a lot in the early stages. So I'm leaning towards a 6. I don't think he was special, but I don't think he was bad. 5.5. So we're not far off. I don't think that's too bad of an outing there. Reniel Hugo, he came on quite early on Wednesday, so he put in quite a shift today. And I thought today he was pretty solid. He made 12 tackles. Just the 1 carry, but they were pretty good. The lineouts were good today. That is one thing I'll say. The lineouts were very, very good today. So, and as the key sort of lineout man, he takes a lot of credit for that. So I'll probably give him a 6. 12 tackles is very nice, very solid. Did miss 2 tackles and stuff like that. 6.5, so I went a little bit lower there. So we haven't been far off. Dylan Richardson. He topped the tackle stats to Dylan Richardson. He made a whopping 25 tackles, 4 missed tackles, 11 carries as well. Was very, very good. He was everywhere with Dylan Richardson. He always is when he plays. I think he's a very, very nice player. I think he's somebody who will struggle to get game time with this Sharks loose trio being what it is. But he's got a big future ahead of him if they can get him right. He's a very, very nice player. 25 tackles is no small feat at all. So I'll probably go with a 7 for Dylan Richardson. I don't think anybody, when you concede 71 points, gets much more than a 7. But I thought he was one of the best players. 7.5. Maybe could have gone an 8. Did concede a couple of penalties, but you kind of always get that with someone who's who's always on the fringes. He's a fetcher, so he's always going to be sort of dabbling on that line of being, is he onside, is he offside, is he allowed to play the ball, is he not allowed to play the ball? But a very good outing for him. I thought that he made a big difference. Pedro Gamedi, he had a bit of an interesting game. I thought that he had some very good moments and some pretty poor moments. He was pretty good under the high ball for the most part. A couple of times knocked the ball on or knocked the ball naturally, actually, I think with one of the kickoffs. He made 5 carries, 9 tackles. He beat 2 defenders, 1 offload, 1 clean break, 31 meters gain, 9 tackles. He didn't miss tackle, so I thought it was pretty solid. So I'll probably lean towards a 6 for him. I thought it was a nice outing. We haven't got to see much of Pedro Gamedi. And people are going with 7, so they're going higher. So maybe I was being a bit harsh. But I thought he actually played pretty well. And hopefully we can see more of them. They've got a lot of depth in that back three of the scrum, do the Sharks. A player who, once again, I was very, very impressed with is Pepsi Buthelezi. This man played 80 minutes on Wednesday, a full 80, at just 22 years old. And then today, 13 tackles, 7 carries, 2 defenders beaten. I mean, there was a stage where, he looked absolutely dead on his feet. Sitting at pillar and stuff like that, waiting for, and somebody came on a very, very big run, and he just sort of looked up and thought, I'm just going to take it, and once again, stopped the man in his tracks, right on the try line. I think he's a future Springbok captain. I think that's the reality. I think he's a very much a servant leader, very much leads by example, an immense contribution for him. So I'm going to give him a 7 as well. He just doesn't seem to be able to do anything wrong at the moment, and I think that. If you have Sia Khaleesi at 7, if Pepsi Buthelezi looked like quite a good line option, I reckon we could see a Khaleesi, Buthelezi, and Sikomoze Noche loose trio. And I think when Noche sort of moves on, we could very much easily have a Khaleesi. I mean, if Khaleesi sort of works on his line not work, Noche's 28 years old, so I mean, I'm not saying he's moving on, but I'm saying if he, for example, currently injured, you could sort of have a loose trio of Richardson, Khaleesi, and Pepsi Buthelezi. But I reckon those 4 are your loose 4. There's still Henk Fenta obviously to come in as well. Pedro Gamedi didn't do himself any disservice. And I think Thembelani Boli is always a player who's very, very frustrating because he always gets kind of sort of pushed to the fringes. But he's also a very good player. But it's just unbelievable the depth that they've got. Jaden Hendrickson, he's going to be a difficult one to rate. Look, I don't want to overreact about Jaden Henderson because I think he's going to cop a lot of abuse. And he deserves some. When you do something like that and you kind of ruin a game for a team and you kind of stuff it up and throw it away, you will cop quite a lot of abuse, and you'll deserve a certain amount of it. But I don't want to be too harsh on him. He's 21 years old. He made a big mistake. I think he'll learn from it. I think he'll be a lot better. I'm not trying to excuse what he did because I think it's really stupid what he did. So I'm probably sort of leaning towards a 2, maybe a 3. I thought he was pretty good before then, and that's the frustrating part. I think he was having quite a good game. He scored a try, which usually bumps you up, so maybe we'll sort of get him away with a 3. He scored a try. I thought he was very good in the first half. His tackle success rate was 83%, made 5 tackles, 1 clean break, he had an offload, made 90 meters. He scored a try, and then he goes and does that, which I thought was pretty dumb. So I could probably go with a 2. I think you're going to go with a 2 when you kind of make... you know what the problem is? It's one thing to get a red card. But then you get a red card, 3, so maybe I could have gone a bit higher. When you get a red card for something like a tackle which maybe gone wrong, a high tackle, or taking out the man in the air, for example, or something like that. But when it's foul play and it's needless, it was proper needless. It wasn't a case of he was provoked. It wasn't a case of... he was trying to sort something out. It wasn't the case of somebody getting into his face. He had made a really, really good tackle and then decided on the floor to have it just a cheap shot in someone, which I think is just so poor. So it's just frustrating. I think he's got such a high threshold. I genuinely think he's going to be a fantastic Springbok in a couple of years' time. But you can't do what he did tonight. That's the thing. You can't do it. You just cannot do it. You can't let your emotions get away with that. You can't just take a cheap shot at somebody. It's dirty. It's dirty. There's no other way to do it. He is someone that likes it in the fringes. He likes to be in people's face. He's often chirps the referee. It's a typical scrum off. But you can't do stuff like that. I mean, it's just foul play. It's dirty, and you can't afford to be doing that. And what he did is he ruined, unfortunately, it's very harsh. It sounds very harsh, but he ruined a great game of rugby. And I think he'll bounce back. I think he'll be all right. I'm not worried about him. But that's just the reality that tonight he ruined a good game of rugby, unfortunately. Lionel Cornea, I thought, had a bit of an iffy game. I thought he started like a house on fire. Looked really, really good. He kind of sort of faded off in the end. The problem is he's one of those players. he didn't kick particularly well. He missed a penalty, so they should have had 34 points. He kick success rate was 50%. He made 5 tackles, didn't miss anyone. 3 turnovers won, 3 turnovers conceded. 1 defender beaten, 1 try assist, 34 meters gained. I don't think he was good enough to get a 7. And I don't think any Sharks player is going to get an 8. So I'm kind of leaning around a 6. I thought he was very good, but at the same time, sometimes, they scored a try when he kicked that. The first try came off a kick from him where he should have found touch and he didn't. He put Tucker Abraham under a lot of pressure where he was under pressure, so he threw a bit of a miracle pass inside of him and then decided to take a shoulder off the field while Tucker Abraham was busy being abused by 2 Lions players. So he kind of does that, unfortunately. So I'm kind of going with a 6 for Canoe. As I said, his kicking was not particularly good at all. A 50% kick success rate. There's a couple he should have got there. So I'll go with a 6. Maybe, I thought he was really good for that. 5.5 is fair. He had very good moments and very poor moments. But I think that first half an hour was a bit of a breath of fresh air. Somebody who was willing to try something, somebody who was trying to get their team on the attack. So I think that it'll be interesting to see how him and Kerr and Bosch sort of battle for that number 10 jersey moving forward, because I think that they're both going to have a lot to say about it. You got Tucker Abrahams, who scored a try. He did not do a very good job of containing Duhan van der Merwe. Duhan van der Merwe must have stepped inside him about 4 or 5 times. 40% tackle success rate. He missed 6 tackles and made 4. Unfortunately, at 74 kgs and 5'8", he's tiny, and he got bullied today. He did get bullied today. He scored a try, 1 clean break, 1 try assist, 1 defender beaten, 32 meters gained. But he got bullied. I thought he was pretty average. I'll go with a 5, maybe a 4. You can't miss 6 tackles. You cannot be missing 6 tackles. People going with a 6. I think that's a bit generous, to be honest. I could have gone with a 6, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I just think they're missing 6 tackles. I thought that, Duno was just manhandling him, really. Vic says Cornea can't kick. Guido says Pullman can get an 8. I'll tell you why he's not going to get an 8. His defense is not going to get an 8. Apart from that, I thought he was very good in defense, on the attack. Huntley Nell says Vindercock again so good. Yeah, I was impressed with him. Vic Duhan was bullying Tucker. Yeah, he was just having a time. It wasn't even just physically bullying him. How many times did Duhan van der Merwe off the wing just step inside and Tucker Abrahams going, oh shit, oh he's done it again. Oh well, it was too easy for Duhan van der Merwe. I mean, look, Duhan van der Merwe looks a really good player. I think he was also made to look like quite a good player today. Your centre pairing, Murray Costa. I was pretty impressed with Murray Costa. Unfortunately, they don't have the individual stats for him from today. But I thought he was pretty good. I thought that I mean, he was a lot better than Morris Lowe was on the week during the midweek. So look, I think he slipped a few tackles. So I'll probably give him a 6. But I thought he looked pretty good. He's a youngster. He's just doesn't have his age here. Yeah, well, if anybody knows, I can check now. He is 20, 19, 9, 22 this year. So he's a very young player. Looked pretty bright. I wonder for the future. I don't think we'll see much of him. Werner Koch at outside centre is what we've been waiting for. His stats don't make particularly good reading because they reckon he missed 5 tackles. But I wonder sort of how much those 5 tackles, you often sort of would grab a boot, bring the player down and not be able to hold on, which I think goes down as a missed tackle. But he did make 12 tackles. 2 defenders beaten, 5 passes, 2 clean breaks, 71% tackle success rate. I'm probably going to go with a 7. I was very impressed with him. I thought he was very, very good. He was just he was relentless. He was very physical, very in their face. I thought his distribution was a lot better. I thought he put a couple of players. His passing looked a bit better. That's the one area that people are worried about with Werner Koch, is the fact that can he distribute from 13. But I thought he was pretty good today. I thought he was very good on Wednesday, and he was very solid again today. So I'll go with a 7 for him. Yeah, people are agreeing. Manus Porchita had a weird game to Manus Porchita. He had some nice tackles. We didn't see much of them in the ball. They made the move down from Bulls. He's quite a big player. He's almost 100 kg. He's 22 years old. He made 10 tackles, missed 3. As I said, his tackling was quite good. But, running with the ball, I mean, 1 clean break, 1 try assist, 8 meters gained. I'll probably give him a solid 6. I think his tackling was very good, but I'd like to have seen more from him from the attack. 6.5 is fair. It's fair. We can get behind that. Right, Anthony Folmick. Anthony Folmick sitting on a 7 for me, and I'll tell you why. He scored 2 tries, very, very nice tries, and I thought he looked very good in the defense. But, he's a fullback who made 1 tackle and missed 3. You can't make 25% of your tackles as a fullback. It cannot happen. 3 defenders beaten, 3 passes, 1 offload, 2 tries, is very, very impressive. But I just think that 25% tackles for somebody who's at fullback is crucial. I mean, the way he got handed off Anthony Watson, it's just poor. It can't be that easy. You can get away with that as a wing sometimes, but as a fullback, you have to be able to tackle. Guido says some of these players are scared of being bumped off. Werner even bumped off that. Yeah, that was nice actually when he just smashed into him. Good choice for Werner to ditch 7, cement his name in 15s, but he will be missed for the Olympics. There's a couple players we're going to miss the Olympics. We're going to miss Sanatla, we're going to miss Peacock, we're going to miss Roscoe Speckman, obviously. But I think that Werner Koch looks pretty comfortable in a 15s jersey. I'm not sure. We'll check how old he is. I don't think he's 30 yet. He's 28 years old, so he's kind of in the prime. I think in an outside centre, he can establish himself as quite a useful player, to be honest. I think that a lot of people are talking about maybe Lukanya going at, by the way, we're going to give Anthony Folmick a 7. 7.5. Yeah, I wouldn't give him an 8 because of the tackling and stuff like that. A lot of people talking about Lukanya maybe shifting to 12 to be able to accommodate Werner Koch at 13. I'll be interested to see if they do that. I'll be very surprised if they do that, but they do need a 12 to the Sharks. So that could be an easy fix for now. I think they probably need to bring in a 12 at some stage. Right, Dan Euster. It's hard to make somebody off the bench, especially when they got absolutely hammered. He made 5 tackles, he didn't miss 1, he made 1 carry. I'll probably give him a solid 6. I mean, he didn't do much. Well, it's a shame, it's difficult when you come off the bench. 5.5 is fair, 21 minutes. Your man down, go forth and do something. I mean, same as Mzamo Majola. 3 tackles, 2 missed. Probably give him a 5. I also think that Lawrence. I think Lawrence Orjones. Did anybody know that Lawrence Orjones was even at the Union? Yeah, 4.5. Yeah, I just missed a couple of tackles. I thought he was hopeless though when he came on. I thought he was absolutely horrible when he eventually came on. Was Lawrence Orjones? I'm trying to see. They don't even have him here as the. Well, to be fair, Osmond Rugby's got Curran Bosch as the referee, so that tells you how much they're on the thing. I don't know what he did. Lawrence Orjones, I'll try and see if Rugby Path. I mean, he conceded a stupid penalty. He made no difference in the scrums. He's pretty slow around the park. He was in the offside position coming back, which is why Tad Burns scored that try. I'm trying to think of anything good that Lawrence Orjones did when he came on. I struggle to think of much, to be honest. Honestly, I can't raise the bench. They were just getting steamrolled at that point from T-Rock's game. Yeah, they were, but I think that, I mean, Lawrence Orjones, you don't have to give away stupid penalties and stuff like that. And, I mean, the one playing the scrum off is just horrendous. I see that, I mean, nobody's got the stats for the players that they... You see, the problem is we weren't told that Lawrence Orjones and Yonka were even in the play. So, I'll give Lawrence Orjones a 4. I thought he was pretty poor. As I said, it's difficult to rate somebody, but yeah, he didn't do much. 4.5, yeah, whatever. Temelani Boli as well. I mean, he tries very hard, does Temelani Boli. 2 carries, 2 tackles. He missed 1 tackle. Solid 6 for him, whatever. Oh, excuse me. 5.5 is much of a muchness. Genre Labaskakni. Lapis, another Lapis Labaskakni. We've got no stats over here for him. Rugby Pass reckons that he made 9 tackles. It's not bad. 9 tackles, missed tackles, 0. On the attack, I didn't make any carries. I'll go with a solid 6 for Lapis over here. We haven't really seen him, so didn't look bad. I mean, as I said, I think they've got so many loose forwards. We won't see much of them. I mean, as a loose forward, something like him, you're probably 7, 8 in line at the Sharks. I mean, what are your career prospects looking like? Not very good, are they? Cameron Wright got handed off by Anthony Watson. It's kind of the only thing I can remember him doing. He missed 4 tackles and made 3. Probably a 5. I mean, it's difficult. It's hard to rate him, but he could come on. He did have a half an hour though. So, yeah, 5. I thought he was pretty average. Interesting that they brought him back when they've got so many scrum halves. Butcher Chamberlain, yeah, I didn't get he got about 20 odd minutes, I reckon. You've got no stats here. Apparently carried the ball 3 meters. Apparently on defense, he made 2 tackles and missed 1. He made 3 kicks. No, he's got no kicks here. You can see the penalty. No. Vian Herbst here, 3 penalties, by the way. 3 penalties. That's horrible. That's shocking. You can't be doing that. That prop that came there, the scrum cap played shit. Yeah, well, we didn't give him a particularly nice score. I'll give Butch Chamberlain a 6. I didn't do much wrong, didn't do much right. 5.5 is fine. Reinhard Jonker, yeah, I'll just give you a 6. I'll let you get away with it. I mean, he came on so late, they didn't have much to do. 5.5, that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, the worst rating obviously was Jaden Hendrickse with, I think we gave him an average of 3. After that, I think it was Lawrence Arjansa who got the worst rating. Majority got 4.5, Arjansa got 4.5. Arjansa offered absolutely nothing off that bench. Right, moving on to the British and Irish Lions players. I think if I had to rate the Sharks' performance out of 10, I'd probably go with a 6. Maybe a 7. I thought they were very good for, as I said, for 45 minutes. They were fantastic. Really did front up and were very impressive. But then it all fell to shit after Jaden Hendrickse got sent off. But Rory Sutherland, I thought it was pretty good. He had 10 carries, 4 tackles, 2 turnovers, 1. I didn't miss a single tackle. I mean, scrum-wise, I don't think he's didn't concede any penalties. I'll give him a 7. A solid day in the office, I reckon, as a loose head. I mean, what more do you want from him, really? 6.6. Yeah, it's close enough. I think we're pretty close. Jamie George, who scored 2 tries, did the captain. What is it about getting captain and suddenly doing quite well? They've all had 7 carries, 9 tackles. He didn't miss a single tackle to Jamie George. Also made scored 2 tries, 2 defenders beaten, 1 clean break, 2 passes, 9 tackles. They missed 1 line. I'm not sure if it was him that missed it. You can see it 1 penalty, set plays. Unfortunately doesn't show that. Defense, or this, I mean, rugby pass records, he made 11 tackles, but both ones, I'm not arguing that he missed a single one. Apparently he made 12 carries here, so, I mean, he made a lot of carries. I'll probably put him with an 8. I thought David George was pretty good, to be honest. Let's see what everybody else reckons. They're going with a 7, so I'm a little bit higher, Tadek Furlong, probably the worst of the front rows in terms of his, I mean, look, they scrummed very well, so, I mean, but Tadek Furlong made 7 carries, 5 tackles. He missed 2 tackles, though. I'll probably go with a 6 for him. I mean, a bit of a nothing game, really. I thought he was quite involved in the early stages. They didn't do much. As a tight end, all you have to do is scrum, and they scrummed pretty well. So, you know, he did what he had to do, didn't he? No penalties conceded. So nothing wrong with his efforts there. Courtney Laws. Well, Courtney Laws was trying to bully them in the first half. That's quite a few carries. 7 carries, 4 tackles. 1 missed tackle. He won our poll on who we would least like to fight, though. So that's got to count for something. I thought it was pretty ordinary. I think I'll probably go with a 6, maybe even a 5. I didn't think it was great. 6.3, Johnny Hill was probably better, I think. Was probably a bit more involved. 6 carries. Actually, only made 1 tackle, 3 missed tackles. Boy. 2 offloads. But I remember him in the loose a bit more. 1 defender beaten, 5 passes, 13 meters gain. Rugby pass reckons, Courtney Laws conceded a penalty away, by the way. Rugby Pass reckons that Johnny Hill made 2 tackles, missed 2 tackles, so maybe we'll go with a 5 for Johnny Hill, actually. Sounds like, maybe it was. Yeah, I think the locks actually weren't great. They did lose a lineup, but yeah, Taylor Byrne, he's just got a knack, doesn't he? He's nothing flash. There's nothing flashy about Taylor Byrne, but I mean, 10 carries, 4 tackles, 2 tries, an offload, 4 defenders beaten, clean break. I mean, what more do you want from a player, really? Rugby Pass reckons, I'm trying to see 4 tackles from him. They've got him making 32 meters. Yeah, very solid game. I'll give Taylor Byrne an 8. You got to get an 8 if you score 2 tries. Maybe even a 9. 7.5 I think is harsh. I think you got to give him an 8. You got 2 tries. 2 tries, didn't miss a single tackle. 1 is lineouts. I can check his lineout stats actually. Yeah, I mean, 5 lineouts is the main lineout jumper for them. He did everything right. So I think an 8. I think he deserves an 8. Marco Vinopola Bear, big course, low smashing halfbacks and fly halves. Lots of. I mean, it's a forwards dream, isn't it? You know, that nice hospital pass to a fly half for you to absolutely smoke. Next up, we've got Hamish Watson. He's always topping the tackle charts, isn't he? You know, but today was a little bit quieter, I thought. A try assist from him, 8 tackles made, 6 carries. On a Rugby Pass, I want to see if you can see the penalty. No. Defense, they're also going to make him 8 tackles. Pretty ordinary by Hamish Watson standards. I'll probably go with a 6 for Hamish Watson. I didn't think he was standout. 7, you could have gone. Oh, he was good. He was solid. I just didn't think, maybe by his standards, I'm being a bit harsh. Got to try and assist, I suppose. Jack Cohen was very reliable under the high ball. Was the usual sort of suspect there. Made quite a few carries early on. 14 carries, 9 tackles made. 1 try, 2 offloads, 2 defenders beaten. No penalties conceded. He was very good. I thought Jack Conan was pretty impressive. As I said, he made a lot of carries, making up quite a few meters. And he scored a try. So I'm probably sitting at around 8 for Jack Conan. I think he'll be the starting number 8, to be honest. I think that this is quite close to being the... I think this could be the loose trio that starts the tests. He'll go with a 7. Yeah, I think that try probably bumped it up one more. I think that could be the starting loose trio. I think Josh Navidi will have, and Tom Curry have some work to try and get into that starting there. But I think that Jack Conan is probably your best pick at 8. You've got Faletau as well, but I haven't been that impressed with Faletau when he's come on West. I think Jack Conan is doing some very, very good things. Gareth Davies, his first game of the tour, it was nothing special. It was alright. 67 tackle success rate. He's difficult to look at stats for a scrum off. I'm kind of leaning towards a 6 for Gareth Davies. I didn't think he was phenomenal. I didn't think he was bad. Yeah, 5.3. People are going a bit lower. Yeah, I didn't think he was fantastic to Gareth Davies. He wasn't bad, but yeah. Jack Conan the Barbarian put his hand up for number 8. Yeah, I think he'll start. I think this is the best loose trio the Lions have got. I think you have this loose trio, and I think you have, if you go with a 6-2 split, you can bring like Courtney Laws, Tom Curry, and like Faletau or Josh Navidi off the bench. I think that's a very powerful pack. Dan Bigger, I didn't think he had the greatest game, to be honest. I thought that, he must have missed a few tackles. I think did Dan Bigger. Here we missed 1 tackle only. I thought he missed more. He sort of had some half tackles, didn't he? 1 defender beaten, 1 offload, 2 try assists. I feel like it's harsh to give him lower than a 7, but I didn't think he was game changing. He kicked well, to be fair. 5 kicks, conversion success rate. I'll probably give you a 7. Dan Bigger. He's nothing flash with Dan Bigger. He just does a little bit of everything. 6.3. Yeah, I was kind of leaning towards a 6. Maybe should have gone with 6, but I think that for all that his points, 8 conversions, 80% kicking success rate. I think I've seen better games from Dan Bigger. Joe Van Merwe, well, he's just having so much fun. He literally just literally, and that's the word I use, fun. Only had to make 1 tackle. He won 3 turnovers, 3 clean breaks, 13 defenders beaten. He was just playing with a sunscreen, worrying about his pale skin in the weather, where he was going to get sunburned or something. And it was nighttime as well. 3 passes, 128 meters run. You probably got to give him an 8. He just looks so good. I think he was made to look good because I think he bullied Abrahams, and I think he had a very easy game. But yeah, we're all agreeing on a solid 8 for Duran. He's just looking like a very good player. And then Chris Harris. Look, I don't think he's a great inside centre. I think he's a much better outside centre because he's a very good defensive player. He missed 3 tackles. He made 3 tackles. He made 1 offload, 0 clean breaks. In terms of carries made, he made quite a few carries actually. He made 8 carries. Beating 1 defender. I'll give you a 6 for Chris Harris. I don't think he's a good inside centre. I think if they're gonna go, if we're gonna go with a Henshaw Chris Harris combo, for example, I would go Henshaw inside. I think Harris is very, very good outside centre. I think he's a very good defensive. Elliot Daly missed quite a few tackles. 3 tackles missed, 1 try, 15 passes. He's made a lot of passes, 7 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks. I don't think it was phenomenal. So I'm kind of going with a 6 for him, maybe even a 5. I don't think it was that special. Blockbuster, 5.7 is fair. It's fair. Anthony Watson, well, he had a very, very quiet first half, and then the second half we were introduced to Anthony Watson, who in his first game on tour said, listen, don't just sit here putting Duvan, Josh Adams. I'm in the mix, eh? I'm in the mix. Still got Stuart Hogg. It's going to be horrible trying to pick those. Joe Van der Merwe's got, 6 tries in 3 games? Josh Adams has 8 in 3 games. So where does Anthony Watson fit in? But today, 9 defenders beaten, a try assist, 2 tries, 1 offload, 2 clean breaks, 9 defenders beaten, 3 passes, 143 meters gained, 100% tackles made. Discipline, was no penalties conceded. He was very good today. Was Anthony Watson? So I'll probably give him an 8 as well. 2 tries, good game from him. Very good game from him. 6.5. You guys cooked. I think he had an average first half. Look, he got burnt for folding, so maybe we could knock him down to a 7. But 6.5, I think, is very, very harsh. Very, very harsh. Even 6. He scored 2 tries. He beat 9 defenders. I think. Obviously when the game was gone a little bit by then, but you can't be giving somebody who scored 2 tries a 6. Come on. or lower than 6 when people are going. Liam Williams. Well, there's nobody better than Liam Williams in the air. He made all his tackles. He only had to make one. 72 meters run, 3 defenders beaten, 1 clean break, 1 offload, 2 try assists from him. I thought he was very classy. I thought it was pretty classy outing by Liam Williams. Very good in the air. Never looks flustered. I don't think he'll start because I think he got Stuart Hogg, but I think that he's a very, very good option off the bench if you want to have him there. The bench made a big impact. I thought Ken Owens wasn't great. I mean, 1 tackle, 3 things, so I'll probably give him a solid 6. I thought the front row, Wyn Jones, almost could have tried to Wyn Jones. 3 carries, 1 tackle, we'll go with 6. I mean, when you win 71, you kind of get 6s. Carl Sinclair as well, we'll give him a 6. I don't think it was much special in any of the front row. Adam Beard, actually, he didn't have a very good game. I mean, he was only on 15 minutes, but I mean, again, 6. Sam Simmons looks quite bright. Oh, by the way, yeah, 5. Yeah, it wasn't great when he came on. Thought Sam Simmons and Tom Curry were pretty good when they came on. Simmons made 6 carries, making 8 meters, 1 defender beaten. So I'll probably give Simmons probably a 6 as well. Wasn't exactly standout, but nothing wrong with what he did. Tom Curry scored a try, but didn't do much else, so 6. We'll probably give most of the bench 6. 5 point. Conor Murray, well, he gave away a pursuit penalty and got a yellow card, so I'll probably give him a 4, mate. And I should have got 3. Yeah, I want to go 3 actually. You got charged down and conceded a try, and then you got a yellow card, so you're getting a 3. You're horrible to a captain. Mandiaki, well, he was on for about 10 minutes. 13 minutes, he made 1 tackle, didn't do anything. Yeah, you can get away with a 6. Yeah, and there we go. So I think we're pretty close. I mean, funny enough, Conor Murray gets the lowest score, even with Jaden Hemsworth getting sent off. So that's an interesting one. But yeah, those are the ratings, stuff like that. We'll be back next week for them. Please do smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing a couple of videos over the next couple of days. We've got a little bit of a break. We're going to be looking at how effective the Sharks and the Sigma Lions were in terms of what teams that they would probably have if they weren't for certain things, because I think a lot of people are reacting quite badly and pretty misinformed in terms of where our rugby really is. And we're also going to be doing a team where we're going to pick a team of overseas-based players that are not part of the Springboks to try and demonstrate some of the depth in South Africa. Obviously, we'll then have previews for the Stormers game on Wednesday. We've got Curry Cup on Wednesday as well. Next weekend, it looks like it's going to be the South Africa A versus Lions game on the Saturday, as well as New Zealand versus Fiji. We've also got a review on that like that. So lots of rugby coming up. Lots of Curry Cup coming up as well. Smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for voting. Please do keep safe, and I'll see you guys all very, very soon.